The Coalition armada dropped out of hyperspace, 20,000 warships eager to burn Earth to ash. But the targeting sensors screamed. Fleet Master Kalen stared at the tactical display as 700,000 human dreadnoughts powered their weapons. Who had warned them? 6 months prior, Kalen's only frustration was a miscalibrated thermal mug on his desk. Nobody believed the humans would actually retaliate for the loss of one minor border colony. Kalen remembered watching the initial holovids of Terminus Prime burning. The Craxian hegemony had wiped the human settlement from existence without a second thought. They erased a single human colony. Humanity erased their entire empire in response. It happened with terrifying mechanical speed. Supreme Archbox defensive lines were subjected to absolute annihilation. The soft bipedal creatures did not ask for surrender, and they did not accept it. Sitting on the bridge of his own command vessel, Kalen had studied a shattered Craxian insignia, plate a piece of twisted metal recovered from the ash of Xyler. The human commander, Silas Vance, had ordered an orbital bombardment that literally cracked the Craxian homeworld's crust. Kinetic weapons dropping tungsten rods from orbit had reduced a millennia-old empire to dust in days. It was an impossible display of supremacy. The Authrazian High Command panicked. 5 alien species united to stop humanity's wrath, but they only succeeded in giving them new targets. The Coalition of 5 was formed in secret. They massed their fleets, establishing a massive blockade in the Authrazian sector to contain the advancing threat. Kalen was assured the perimeter would hold. Then came the intercept. The humans didn't wait to be contained. Vance ordered an immediate preemptive strike. The human flagship, EAS Infinity, arrived and shattered the primary blockade in under an hour. Kalen watched the telemetry data flow across his screens, his pulse racing as he observed human tactics. They did not maneuver with the grace of the older species. They fought with a brutal, kinetic momentum that tore coalition ships apart. When Theron Dax led a mechanized ground invasion to conquer the Vokari stronghold of Cryos 9, the Coalition Council realized total subjugation was inevitable, unless they cut the head off the serpent. They planned a desperate decapitation strike. Earth, the human homeworld. It was the only way to stop the relentless machine Vance had built. Kalen was given command of the 20,000 vessels gathered for the final push. They would jump directly to the Sol system. They would end the nightmare. The hyperspace transit to the Sol system had been dead silent. Kalen stood on his command deck, watching the pale blue sphere of the human homeworld grow larger on the main view screen. Earth was supposed to be the ultimate target, but it turned out to be the deadliest trap in the galaxy. The Coalition had expected a desperate rearguard defense. They had expected to inflict a crippling decapitation strike to end the war. Instead, the sensor arrays blinded the bridge with an unbroken wall of red contacts. The humans hadn't just fortified their world. They had recalled everything. Now, staring at the tactical display as those 700,000 human dreadnoughts powered their weapons, Kalen understood the sheer scale of their miscalculation. The void ignited. Humanity did not bother with demands for surrender. Massive kinetic rounds sheared through the Coalition vanguard like dry leaves. In less than 20 minutes, a fleet of 20,000 advanced vessels became a graveyard of drifting debris. Boarding sirens wailed as Kalen's flagship lost power, the hull groaning violently under the breach of mechanized human infantry. The galaxy pushed humanity to the brink of extinction, and humanity pushed back until there was no one left to fight. Kalen survived, kept as a chained observer aboard the EAS Infinity. For months, the captive alien commander was forced to watch the holofeeds as Silas Vance directed the armada to disperse across the galaxy. Humanity transitioned to total conquest. Kalen watched them systematically invade the Coalition's core worlds, executing leaders without trial and utilizing relentless orbital bombardments to collapse planetary shields. He watched the final Vokari stronghold of Morbus fall, observing the tactical feeds of intense, unyielding street-to-street combat that methodically wiped out the last alien military force in existence. Vance stood at the observation glass, surveying the ruined, smoking surface of Morbus below. Theron Dax stepped beside the human commander, his armored suit scorched from the surface fighting. They did not speak of treaties. Kalen listened as they established a new directive. Permanent, aggressive galactic expansion. The human armada would establish a supreme overwatch across all territories. No alien species would ever be permitted to build a warship again. Kalen lowered his gaze to the metal console. The shattered Craxian insignia plate rested there, placed by his captors. Once he had studied the twisted metal as a warning of human retaliation. Now, looking at the jagged edges, he realized it was not an anomaly. It was the new shape of the universe.